Okay, y'all, I'm here tonight on behalf of Choose Wisely Alabama, and we are talking about healthy snacks. So my goal for this whole year, we started, in the fall of last year, and moving into 2021, we are going to be talking about just ways to lighten up our favorite things in the South. Obviously down here we like to fry things, and we like to do some things that are not exactly the best for our health. And so that's where I am actually partnering with Choose Wisely Alabama to talk about just ways that we can make these recipes healthier for us and make us feel better after we eat them, but not skimp on the flavor. And one of the ideas we had to talk about tonight specifically was talking about healthy snacks. And this is one for me that I love snacks. I don't know about y'all. I love candy. I love all the junk food. Let's be honest. I love chips, but not really something I need to be doing every day of the week all the time. That's a splurge thing. But I also don't want to just eat stuff that's just gross and dry and no fun in it at all. Like, everybody wants their weekdays and their days where they're just eating snacks to get through their day to still taste good. And so we were talking on the phone one day, and I was like, listen, I eat yogurt like 4 times a day. So surprise ingredients for whoever was playing my game this week, it is yogurt. It is truly probably top 5 favorite things. I eat yogurt all the time. My son is literally obsessed with it. In fact, if we let him, Monroe would eat yogurt, and that is basically it. Applesauce too. But yeah, so we're talking about yogurt. So obviously I like yogurt just plain. I'm fine with that. But when it comes to feeding little ones and, people that don't really like to eat healthy, if they're not into just eating plain yogurt, you got to make this interesting. And obviously I'm a chef, so that's what we're here. So this is a fun thing too, because you don't really have to cook anything. Obviously one of my very favorite things is smoothies. We all know about smoothies. I use mine with a base of Greek yogurt. But we're talking tonight about some things that you maybe have not thought of. And then I'm also gonna make like my favorite healthy parfait. So we're leaving out the granola. I have a secret for y'all. Granola is full of sugar. Sorry. I was actually on the phone with my agent when we were talking about this, and I was like, yeah, I really hate to tell you this, Cameron, but that granola you put in your yogurt parfait we're talking about is not good for you. It's just got tons of sugar in it, so we're trying to steer clear of added sugars in general and just kind of keep things clean. So we're talking about my favorite parfait that I make all the time. It's like a cheap parfait with all healthy things. And then in the middle, we're making what I also love. This is like a bark. So we've got some Nutella we're gonna swirl in there, but just a tiny bit. So we're gonna keep this light. And this ends up eating sort of like a white chocolate, dark chocolate bark with fruit on it, and you freeze it. It's addicting. And then last but not least, this was like the crowd pleaser favorite when we were talking about our options, was a chocolate pudding with a base of Greek yogurt. So I'm gonna get into that really quickly and just kind of show y'all how I do these things, and feel free to ask questions. We've got someone that's kind of helping me guide these questions tonight, so y'all just let me know as you ask. Obviously I'll answer. So I think we have a few. Someone said they have to hide the yogurt from their 3-year-old or he will crush them back. Yeah. Same. Like Monroe, I'll look. We have the ones that are like in the little packages where they can eat it themselves. And if I don't pay attention, because now he can get into the refrigerator by himself, y'all, he will go in there and just like crush them. Like 5, and then I'll look on the ground, there'll be like all these little wrappers. I'm like, oh my God. But now he knows he has to throw things away. So sometimes he'll literally go and like hide them underneath other trash in the trash can. So I don't know how many he's eaten. A little sneaky, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Okay, so I eat this. I was obsessed with these when I was pregnant. It was a little ridiculous. I ate these like twice a day at least. So I like this in the morning for breakfast, and then I also like it in the afternoons, like with coffee. That's one of my very favorite things. Yogurt is life in my house with the 5 and 2-year-old. I'm telling y'all, it's so good for them. There's protein in it as well. So it's just good for your health in general. So I've got a strawberry Greek yogurt. So this is literally just Greek yogurt, and it's got pureed strawberries and little pieces of strawberries in it. You can make that yourself using plain Greek yogurt, or you can just buy some brands that already have strawberry in it. Y'all just make sure when you're buying yogurt, they are not all created equal. So make sure, I don't tell people, don't worry about the organic thing so much, but definitely worry about how much sugar they're putting in there. So obviously you're not trying to give your children or anybody, you're not trying to eat a lot of sugar, never. It's not good for us. Honey's definitely great, but just granulated sugar and added sugars in general just are not great for us. So I fill this like about a cup of yogurt, okay? Do you ever use full-fat Greek yogurt? Yes, I do. You know, when it comes to fat, all fat is not created equal. So the fat that is in yogurt is very good for us. It's not saturated fat, and it's the kind of fat that your body needs to basically function and the metabolism to keep going. So when we're talking about stuff like that, like it's okay to have full-fat Greek yogurt. There are more calories in it. So if you're someone that's trying to really lose a lot of weight because of health reasons, that's not gonna be an option you're gonna wanna go with. But if you're someone that's like me, for example, and I'm breastfeeding and I need to have more calories throughout my day, a full-fat yogurt is totally fine. It just depends on kind of what position you're in. All right, so cup of yogurt. Then I do a tablespoon of crunchy peanut butter. Now, one of the things, I know y'all are like, okay, you're a chef. Why are you talking about this stuff? But it actually is kind of important, like, to think that a lot of, like, just people that are not chefs don't think about is you gotta really confuse your brain when you're eating things. That's when you're the most satisfied. So when you're, for example, I tell people, like, if you're trying to kind of stick to a plan with eating to lose weight for health reasons or whatever the reason may be, if you're diabetic, don't just like deprive yourself to the point that you're really missing things and you want to splurge all the time. You need to be eating good foods. And on top of that, y'all, I see all these diet plans and things where they're like, drink these 5 shakes in a day. Okay, well, your body needs to feel like it's eating as well. So if you just drink smoothies and drink these protein shakes all the time, you still feel like you need to eat something because your body wants to chew something. Your body wants to go through the act of eating. So very important, like in a parfait like this, the things that I always like to touch on is, obviously there's a yogurt in there. So that's kind of like the decadent velvet soft part. And then you will always want to have a crunch, which in this case, crunchy peanut butter. And then you always want to have a chewy, which in this case, I'm using dried dates, which are really, really great for you. And they add some sweetness. And then last but not least, acid. So important. Acid is crucial in every recipe, in which case I have blueberries, which you obviously can sub out for like strawberries or, I don't know, grapes even are fine, but grapes are kind of watery, so it's a little weird. What are my thoughts on other products like kefir? And oh, I love kefir. That's a good one too. Try that if you're not into like dairy. That's a good one. Turkish yogurt. Do I have ever made my own yogurt? Yes. It is pretty easy, but I'm a mom of 2, and one of which is 3 months old, one of which is an insane 3-year-old. So I'm not really in the yogurt making days right now. I love it, but that was like sort of things I do at my restaurant maybe, but I don't try to make this so that it's impossible to do on these little things. I'm trying to make this pretty accessible for y'all. All right, so I just like to cut up these dates so they're bite size. And you wanna just do like 2, maybe 3 dates. And I really like the chewy in here. You could use things like craisins or, you know, any kind of dried fruit, but dates I really like because they've got this like syrupy sweetness to them. So it's just sort of a different kind of sweetness in here rather than just like straight fruit. Now, and what I wanted to show y'all, you can do these like on Sunday if you meal prep or whatever you do. I'm not a meal prepper, but some people are really into that. Put these in jars, seal the jar, and then you can have like 10 of these, make 10 at a time. Your children can help you do it. They love things like this. And then all you gotta do is just grab these and go whenever you need a good snack. So number 1, jars, moving that out of the way. Second, the bark. This is a fun one. I don't know if you've ever seen this before. Probably not. This is a really cool one. So you can also make this like puree it, and then another one that I do a lot is like yogurt, banana, coconut milk, puree it and freeze them like popsicles. And then add whatever fruit you want to add. Like you had to add the banana for some, essentially just to keep it so it doesn't get icy is what that does. But other than that, you can add another fruit if you want to. You don't have to just do banana. All right, I'm gonna heat this Nutella up for a minute just to kind of get it melted. You know, and Nutella is hazelnut paste with chocolate, obviously. So, you know, is it the best thing in the world for you? No, but we're talking about balance today. We're not talking about going on a diet, okay? So, we're gonna put a little bit of Nutella. Just don't go overboard with Nutella, okay? Trying to keep this still somewhat healthy. All right, mixing this up. So, and I'm just warming this up to get it more liquidy so I can do like a ribbon of this on top of our yogurt. So I'm gonna warm this up a little bit more. Anybody have questions? Let's see. Yum, yes. Yum is correct. Will you mess up your scrambled eggs if I substitute milk with yogurt? I wouldn't do that. That's just because it's gonna be sour. And yogurt will separate when you cook it. So you gotta kind of be careful when you cook something like that. You can't just kind of throw it in there. But that's a good question. I love Nutella. It's a problem, y'all. When I was pregnant, I would go in my pantry and just like, sometimes I didn't even use a spoon. Sorry, y'all. My dogs. If you have dogs out there, do you feel my pain? I love them dearly, but I can't keep them quiet. All right, you're gonna spread your yogurt out on a parchment lined tray and about like 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch thick. Do not make this too thick or else it's gonna be way too hard, like rock solid. Think about any chocolate bark you ever had. Like you don't want this to be super, super hard. Have I ever made homemade Nutella? Oh yeah, girl. Trust me. Yes. That's really easy. You just toast hazelnuts and then you add in just a little bit of chocolate, and you can even use cocoa powder and a little bit of oil to make it kind of thin out. So I'm just spreading this out flat. Again, not too thick, not too thin. And then I can kind of peel these back. And then you can either do dollops or this, or just like, look y'all, see how you can just swirl this? I'll show y'all a close up. Oh my yeah. Kids also love this. And I know I keep talking about kids because I'm doing yogurt and that's just like on my brain. And then instead of granola, because again, what did we say about granola? Way too much sugar. I like to sprinkle toasted oatmeal and nuts on this. So all you do, y'all, is you just get a little bit of oatmeal and pecans and you toast them in the oven and then they get nice and crispy and then you put them on top. And y'all, these recipes are gonna be on Choose Wisely's website. So y'all, don't worry, we'll have those live for y'all. And we also are asking if y'all can go and submit your own of things you maybe want me to make and do it the way that I would do it. So we love doing things like taking recipes y'all see online and be like, Kelsey, how would you make this? And then I do my own version of it. So y'all feel free to go check out their website and you can submit those recipes. It'll be sort of like a funny way to do like nailed it or something, you know, like those Pinterest things you see. All right, so just sprinkling these toasted nuts and pecans right over the top. And then if you want to, this is not, you don't have to. I like to add like a little bit of sliced banana on top of this as well. Very thinly sliced, okay? Let's see. What is my favorite vegetable dish? Oh, that is way too hard of a question. All of them. And if y'all see Choose Wisely's in the comments section. So they're putting kind of like links to the website, stuff like that on there for y'all to look at. So just very thinly sliced bananas right over the top. Kind of spread them out. And then the idea here is once you freeze it, obviously you just break it up like any other chocolate bar. And then last but not least, for sure, chocolate pudding made with yogurt. This is, I think, like I said, when we were talking about some ideas on our call, they were like, I want to learn how to do that. Who doesn't love chocolate pudding? I mean, come on, everybody. It's my mom's favorite thing in the world. It's funny. So that's what that looks like, y'all. You just freeze it, and then it'll be bark. All right, last but not least, again. So you're just gonna take, you can actually use, I'll use this bowl. This is plain Greek yogurt. You can also use vanilla. Either one's fine. Just make sure you don't have like ones with crazy flavors. Vanilla or plain is all you really want. And then I put in a little bit of peanut butter powder. If y'all have never heard of peanut butter powder, oh my God, it's so great. So it thickens things, so it works like a thickener, and obviously it's also peanut butter. So it's so delicious. So we're gonna put some peanut butter powder in here, and then some cocoa powder. And then a tad bit of salt, and the salt is just to, basically just to like bring out the chocolate more, and add as much cocoa powder as you want. So if you're more of a milk chocolate fan, don't put so much cocoa powder. If you're more of a dark chocolate person, put more cocoa powder. And if for any reason this tastes slightly bitter to you, which it doesn't to me, it doesn't taste exactly like pudding, let's be honest, but it's pretty close. And then I like to put a touch of that Nutella, okay? So just maybe like 1/4 teaspoon. And this just kind of makes it a little bit more richer and decadent. So really all you're doing is adding some flavor to yogurt. A little bit of that Nutella just kind of gets it a little bit more decadent. Check it out. You would never know. Your kids will never know either. Look. All right, I gotta go. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna sit by myself in my car and eat this yogurt chocolate pudding and hide from my children. That's what you really do with it. I'm kidding. Am I kidding? I don't know. You tell me. But yeah, this is the best. So you can all like add as much of this cocoa powder as you want to make it darker if you need to. Significantly better for you than straight pudding. And there's no like weird additives in here. So a lot of like store-bought pudding and stuff has got a lot of things added to it to keep it stable. This is just yogurt. So that's the other thing about it too. This looks exactly like pudding. I know. I'm so conniving, right? I'm just kidding. Tastes like it too. Ooh, y'all, it's good. So if you try it the first time, you're like, oh, this is not exactly like it. Just remember, yogurt has a little bit of a sour taste to it, so that's just very natural. And honestly, once you've had this, you're not gonna really wanna go back. Add as much peanut butter as you want, so then this tastes basically like a chocolate peanut butter cup. If you want to add some crunch to it, you could put a little bit of crunchy peanut butter in here rather than the powder. But just remember, the powder thickens it, so you want to make sure you have a little bit of that peanut butter powder in here. Yeah, I mean, if that does not look exactly like chocolate pudding, I don't know what does. Ta-da! The magic. And then last thing that I was going to tell y'all, with this chocolate pudding things, are y'all ready for your mind to be completely blown? Who's ready? You can, two things, you can either... What I've done before is put it in like muffin tins with the liners and freeze it and then put little sticks in it and you have like homemade fudgesicles. You're welcome. Everyone, you're welcome. Or you can just like pop them in your mouth, no sticks involved. You don't have to have a stick, obviously, but they're cute. They're great for kids if you want to do like a little popsicle. But yeah, so fun. Who has questions? Hey, Sarah Garrett. Not Sarah Garrett anymore, but... am I going to post the recipes? Yes, y'all. These recipes will be listed online at Choose Wisely Alabama. If you just Google it, the website will come right up. And yes, we will have these recipes online. And don't forget, y'all, to submit your recipes that you want me to make. So if you post a recipe for cauliflower pizza and you're like, Kelsey, make your version and make your favorite kind. And that's what we're going to do next. So we want to hear from y'all. You know, see what y'all are interested in, what y'all want to see more of. We're definitely here to help y'all and certainly teach you fun ways to make things more healthy and also just teach you good food, let's be honest. So Choose Wisely just posted that website in the comments section once again, so make sure you see that. If you're allergic to peanuts, is there a substitute for peanut butter powder? You can leave it out. That's not a problem. It does make it a little bit thicker, like a pudding consistency. But it's not that big of a deal, so yeah, you don't have to, you can just leave that out. How do I get my picky kids to eat veggies? Put cheese sauce on, I'm kidding, I would never tell you to do that. What I like to tell people about vegetables, and this is sort of a rule of thumb for me with children in general, is with the exception of spice, so with the exception of things that are very, very spicy, feed your children what you're eating. They want to be like you. They want to do what you're doing. So make sure, number one, that you cook good vegetables. Like, don't dump a can of vegetables out on a plate and warm it up and be like, eat your green beans. I'm not going to eat those green beans. You don't want to eat those green beans. So I always say, like, saute your green beans fresh in olive oil and some onions and some salt and make them taste good. And then your child will most likely want to eat it too. And also, don't try to make them eat things that you're not eating. That's like the best tip I tell people is, again, they want to mimic you, they want to be like you, they want to do what you're doing. So it's sort of like sticking them in a corner with a whole different meal at dinner doesn't really excite them and make them feel like they're a part of it. So make it fun, make them help you do it. All those little tips. Farm fresh vegetables. Yes, Farmer Lee Jones. If y'all haven't ever seen his stuff, he's amazing. I have my own garden, so I grow all my own stuff for the most part. And yeah, I'm super excited about spring. I can't wait for tomatoes again. Make sure y'all check out Choose Wisely's website and turn in your ideas if you want to see me cook something else. That is what we're here for. Cookbook comes out this fall. Pre-sale starts in a few months, actually. All right, thank y'all so much. Looking forward to seeing all y'all's questions, and hopefully we get lots of great ideas to share next. Bye, y'all. Have a wonderful night.